Friday is in Ballroom 1. It starts at 12:10. There's all sorts of demos. You know, a lot of people put a lot of effort into these demos and planning goes into it, and we have some fun in there. And there's always drinks and food for lunch and stuff like that. It'll be a really good time. So come by and check out the demos. We'll do a wrap-up closing ceremony. It's actually a special wrap-up closing ceremony. I can't reveal all the details, but we would ask everyone to be there at 1:30 for that. And we'll wrap this thing up and close it out. So that's good. In Ballroom 1 next door here. Starts at 12:10. If you're checking out, you can leave the bags with the concierge. There's quite a few people who are staying here tonight and aren't actually flying out till Saturday. In fact, I think the majority of the people, that's true, at least the folks that I talked to. So if you're here tonight, you'll have plenty of company. There's lots of stuff going on, a lot of people going into Hong Kong and whatnot. So it should still be good. No one will be alone here tonight, that's for sure. So we had a lot of requests for 96 boards, and a lot of people filled out the forms. And we've given out a lot of boards too. And there's some number of boards left, some small number, and the number of people who have filled out forms looking is larger than the number of boards that there are left, at least for today. So basically, you talk to Steve. It's a first come, first served basis after the keynote this morning, and pick up a board if you filled out the form and you're looking for one and you still don't have one. Okay. And then we're going to wrap it up here with our special keynote. We're going to hear from GKH again, and he's going to tell us how Linaro is doing. Always interesting. Greg?
Hey, it worked. You're always surprised. 2 years ago, I was here at Linaro Connect, and John Corbett from Linux Weekly News was here. If you saw his opening keynote, it was quite interesting. He compared you guys to teenagers who had a messy room and didn't even know how to pick things up. I continued with the trend and said that a lot of the stuff you guys were doing, the way you were interacting with the community was not working. And I was starting to refuse to take patches from some of you guys. So George kindly invited me back to yell at you guys again. Maybe. All right, so every year, or every 18 months, the Linux Foundation, through Amanda McPherson, John Corbett from Linux Weekly News, and me write how or who's doing what in the Linux kernel. We write a white paper. It's actually going to come out next week, but I got numbers from it, and don't tell them that I got the numbers early. So let's look at some numbers. Basic 3.19 just came out. You can see the things. 19 million lines of code. We cracked 19 million lines finally. Remember that number. The number is going to come back in the later. For the last development period for the paper, 4,000 developers, individual. That's a huge number of people. 500, we finally cracked the 500 barrier of unique companies. That's the largest, again, software project ever made. 4,000 developers, if you looked at who does what. So 1/3 of the people only do one patch. Then it's pretty much exponential. Half of that do 2 patches, half does 3 patches, and it's an exponential curve. But our top curve is pretty level, and the paper has some numbers on what things are doing. But it's a good, solid community. We're doing really well, which is nice to see. Our rate of change is not slowing down. Linux Foundation has told me not to use the word scary. It's fucking scary. It is bad. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is the average for the past 18 months. That was our last release. Funny thing about our releases, the last 3 kernel releases took exactly 63 days. Exactly. So we're being very regular. We're being very regular releases are going faster. So what this means for you is, as a company, if you want to keep up, you cannot keep up with us if you have stuff outside of the tree. If you have a fork and expect to maintain it, the amount of work you did last year is going to be even more the amount of work you have to do next year and the year after that. It just keeps going up. So if you're going to try and keep stuff out of the tree and think you're going to stay alive, it's just not going to work. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, 8.3 changes. That's crazy. Every year I say there's no possible